So let's continue. Okay, so now when we are loading a weapon, doesn't matter if you are on the left or if you are on the right, we are basically targeting we are basically copying one of the default actions and just replacing them with the current action. So the first case where we should look should be down here actually, where we're just going to take any of our attack inputs and just replace them with the corresponding attack. Okay, first of all, let's make sure on the load weapon we do not have something hard-coded. Okay, so it was false or true. Okay, so because we're going to start confusing a few things, we're going to comment this part out for the unarmed, and we're going to bother with the unarmed in a bit. So, well, first of all, let's see what's going to happen when we press play. All of them should just get, because we are using the greatsword, should just at least update on the left side of our actions. They should update to those animations. But from what we can see, we only get parry, the attack, and then the rest of them just stay the same, even if we're just using two weapons. Let's say we want to use one weapon. So let's remove the right hand entirely. And actually, we should just put something at least in there. Okay, and let's see. Now we're not even checking if the weapon item is null, so I guess that we had that coming for us. So let's comment all of this and give it another shot. That will be for the right hand, and for the left hand we already have it, so that will work at least. Okay, then under our player controller we do have the exact same attacks. Okay, so what's happening is we are actually loading we're loading this as this goes as mirrored. No, that's the default actions. This goes now as the left bumper, which it should do. Okay, and the right bumper goes as this. But the order in which we are adding this is wrong. So what should have been done if we had two weapons? Both of them should at least be the right bumper. So let's see. And we see that basically one weapon just overrides the other weapon. So we have right bumper on the right, so I'm guessing this is from the left hand. We can test that if we just leave this. Now it should be opposite. And true enough, that's true. So we need to basically take care of that first. Which is kind of intriguing, where we actually now need to kind of see if you do have a second weapon. You do not want to overwrite entirely your item actions. Okay, so basically this system for right now only works with basically one weapon, and we just replace it left or right. Okay, so we kind of need to rethink all of this. So what should we do? Well, we're going to say that if this is your, well, no, we do need to know if you do have, I actually don't know, so whatever. let's go on our inventor manager, and I'm going to add a check to tell us if we have an item. So public bool has 2 weapons. If left item is not null and right item is not null, then return true, else return false. Okay, so now we're going to be seeing if we have 2 weapons. So back to our load. Now, okay, let's leave this for now. So first of all, we need to know if we have 2 weapons, and we're going to do that from vendor manager has 2 weapons. Okay, so if you do not have 2 weapons assigned, then everything is fine and everything is good, because we're going to do exactly the same thing. If you do, however, then you're going to only pass the first 2 item actions and assign them onto the left side. So let's copy that. We have weapon item actions. Okay, and I'm going to say if I is greater than 0, then break. So technically we could do this. Or even this. And that should work exactly the same way. For the most part, that is. Because you are only going to be getting the first 2 actions. Okay, let's see what that's going to do. It should give us, well, we're actually going to also assign on the weapon itself. Let's go, let's go on the greatsword, and I'm going to assign the right trigger. Okay, so with 2 weapons selected, it should give us and come to think of it, if you do, yeah, okay, you haven't yet assigned the second item, so that will be wrong. So if you do have so this needs to be opposite actually. So this would be returning false, and this would be returning true, because you already have a weapon. So that means no, I think that's terrible actually. That's terrible. So let's go back then in the consumable. Let's see, load weapon, that should be on the controller. Okay, so let's ignore this entirely. Let's see this now. We should get the left bumper and left trigger to be working, and right bumper and left right trigger to have, to all of them have some action on them. And true enough, that's the case. Okay, we have 4 current actions with parry, attack, and so on. So you have the right bumper, left bumper, and you have right trigger and left trigger. And playing this will give you either one or the other. Okay, well, the parry isn't really an animation that can be mirrored, or we haven't actually enabled it for this to be mirrored. and we can change that from in here. That's the attack, or is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So let's select here, add the parameter, and if you're mirrored over here. Okay, so now it should mirror as well. So we're getting there. So technically, if we unassign this, and we should check now, and we should have, when we're changing weapons now, we should also update and have the parry, and well, basically we should switch to unarmed. Okay, and that's what's happening. We have punch 1, we do get an error because we are missing an object from, yeah, the object we were missing is here. So if equals null, then simply return. Okay, and it does change, but I think, yeah, it does change, but we are missing one of these changes. So these two now stay the same. So switch to punch 1. Okay, so here's what's happening. Attack 1 still stays the same. Okay, let's see that. Roller, let's pin these two. Weapon hook, where is this weapon hook? Okay, it's coming from that. Then update current item, yeah, we don't really care for this, although we cannot took care of it. So whatever. Copy item actions, then your weapon hook on your item container, it's going to be this. And this is kind of hard coded as well, as you can see from your default actions into the current actions. So let's see what we have on the default actions, because I think all of them have the same value now. We have right bumper, left bumper, right trigger, and left trigger. Okay, so the default actions, we can say that they look correct for the most part. Okay, but these two are the issue. Yeah, so right now this should have been punch, but it isn't. So let's see why that is. Get item actions. From the default actions, you need to get the attack input. If you're not left, it's going to return you the same input. Otherwise, it's going to return you the reversed. Okay, so that means, yeah, I don't know. Let's put a breakpoint. Well, let's first attach it. Yeah, okay. It needs to recompile. Okay. So the first one will run. Hopefully. Okay. Then let's put the breakpoints over here. So now when I switch, let's see what should we be doing here. So we are using the component. Okay, then on the next step, what you're going to have for this, you have the punch on the left bumper. Then you're going on your target attack, which you had the parry on the left trigger. Yeah, okay. Here's the issue. Yeah, that's silly. So here's the issue. You need the right bumper, and we actually need to do this for the next attack input. So we're going to have to set this up for the default actions as well. So yeah, okay. The problem with that is that we just need to be doing this basically and switch this to right trigger and right trigger. Yeah, okay. That was the issue with that. We were assigning the wrong places. On the other hand though, making an empty weapon will just pretty much solve this entirely. So let's go and do that exactly. Okay, so let's see, items, weapon items. I'm just going to create, or let's just copy this from Firecaster. I'm just going to use empty. On the empty, I'm going to remove the model prefab, and I'm going to just assign this as punch 1, and punch 1, I think it needs to be with lowercase, punch 1, I'm going to assign this on the right trigger. Okay, we don't need the additional objects, obviously. Okay, and two-handed, yeah, okay, we don't care. So I'm going to add on this one, I'm going to assign public bool is unarmed. So if it's the default unarmed weapon, it basically just needs to, for us, so that we do not get an empty game object, but we assign a collider to this. Okay. Or even better, we could just do create empty weapon hook or empty weapon hook, and here's the damage collider where we're going to need. So let's do if public bool is default weapon. Now we just need to go and find on our player controller the unarmed damage collider. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we're not going to do it like that because we already have it, which works great for what we need. So yeah, we're going to go with this way. Okay, so actually, do we even use this? No, we don't. Okay. Then on the controller, when we do load the weapon, this will never run anymore because we're going to be having an empty weapon as well, and we can do that on the inventory manager for here. And then we're going to have public weapon item unarmed weapon. For the unarmed weapon, then we just need to change the update preferences from profile. We're basically going to be just assigning the unarmed weapon to this. Okay. And then we're always going to be having one weapon in our case. Okay, so back to the controller. This will be running and we should be updating even, yeah, okay, we should just update all those values normally. Only problem that this might create is with the icons. We might get an error from the icons because there is no object to that, so it's not going to be creating an object, but we can solve this quite easily because we have the empty. Let's just create this empty game object and drop that over here. Then on this I'm just going to assign the model prefab, which is just going to be an empty sprite. Okay, Then, however, we do need to know that this is the unarmed, because when you are loading the weapon item, so if weapon item is unarmed, you get the weapon hook from there, so we could return that from here then. So if weapon item is unarmed, return unarmed weapon. Yeah, this is the weapon item. Okay, return controller dot unarmed hook, weapon hook. No, we do not have the reference, so we're just going to assign it with this. Okay, so going back, that should remain the same for all of them. We need this, don't need this, and all this down here. Okay, save this, minimize. Let's hit play and see what. But first we need to assign a few things. On our player controller, we need to assign the weapon hook we have, which is this, the unarmed damage collider, and on the unarmed weapon we need to assign the empty, or let's just rename this to unarmed. This one doesn't need to go on the resources manager, okay, because we are basically hard coding it. So we have punch 1, and you know what, let's change this to kick. I think we have a kick animation somewhere on the air. Parry attack, we do not. Let's see, we should though. We do have a kick animation, so move that there. It should be good enough. Okay. Let's make this kick one. That's for the combo, but whatever. So on the items, empty game object, on the unarmed, let's switch this to kick, just so that we know that it's changing the animations onto the list. So close that and hit play. Attack, parry, and parry. Okay, then punch 1, parry, punch 1, kick. Okay, now it just doesn't go over the index, so because I'm pressing to change the keys, it just doesn't go because we do not have the same attacks. So for example, let's go under get item action container. No, on the inventor manager we need to change the switch now. Switch weapon, okay, because there's never a case that the result is going to be null. We just need to do it like this. Okay, which means we actually don't even need the default actions anymore, because you do have a weapon. So let's see, get item action container, is it load weapon? Yeah, because we are not really using the default actions anywhere. So let's go with default actions. We can simply comment them out. Okay, let's see, where is this? Reset current actions. Obviously we do not need any reset as well, because we just load an empty game object that has all the information we need. I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see, what's this? Oh. Yeah, because you do not have current actions now. I guess that's why we needed it. Okay, yeah, okay. That kind of makes sense, but default actions, I guess you don't even need any of this. Yeah, okay, we were using this for the actions, but I think we could rewrite this to be slightly different. We know that we're going to have 4 containers, which means you can change this to 4. And then for each action, all you need to do is save. You need the attack input and is mirrored, I believe. The rest can just be this. So attack input can be attack inputs casted from the I. Okay, then is mirrored current actions I equals attack input dot left trigger or left bumper, or just that, I guess. And this needs to be current actions dot attack input. Okay, so this is useless and this is useless. We're basically just setting up the array over here. To clear, let's just hit play. Okay, so attack 1, punch 1, parry 1. It doesn't remove the weapon, which is a bummer, and the index doesn't do anything now as well. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint on the inventory manager now when we are switching anywhere. So I'm going to press the right item. Then we have a result is now the great sword, which is already on both of the items. So left is left. We get the index of index. You add on that index, so you are 1. Index is 1 minus 1. If you are higher than that, then load weapon, left index, then get inside. Weapon item equals null. If item is a weapon item, then you cast that as a weapon item. Then on your weapon hook, load weapon on hook. You get in here. Oh, here it is. I think we don't even need this. Yeah, that's why we are loading this. Okay. So we're going to put this even below. So current model equals null, unload weapon. If weapon item is null, unload weapon. This is now not needed. Otherwise, you create the instance and so on. Okay, and then you return that weapon hook. But here's where we should at least say if weapon item is unarmed, return unarmed. That's the weapon holder hook though. You want to return the weapon hook. Return null, I guess. Load weapon model then. Load weapon. This will still return null, but it does have assigned the weapon items, and then we can go on the load weapon on hook, or better yet, let's encapsulate further, result, and if result is null, or let's just say return the result, but if the weapon item is unarmed, then assign the result as the unarmed hook. Okay, the only difference with this is that this will go and unload the weapons and still return us back again the result. So now we should be good for this. So the only thing we need to actually research is what's happening if you're going to assign two weapons. Okay, I think we only assign the first two actions. Okay, so we're changing this, and it does change normally. Perfect. That's actually pretty good. That's actually exactly what we need. We just change weapons depending on what keys we press, and we also change the attacks. Okay, so my thinking is, which we're going to do this on the next part, is if you have 4 actions, you're only going to be using the first 2 if you have 2 weapons. Okay, so that's it for this part. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything, then consider supporting me on Patreon so we can keep making all of these nice things we're making. I'll see you next time.